Hello, and happy New Year. I see there's already a few people in the chat, which is lovely. Wow, this is very. I was trying to get the lighting right, and I thought I had, but now I've gone live. It seems to have really blown out. So let me just readjust. Sorry about that. It's because it's the night time. Though this is the problem when you're as pale as a ghost. Oh, there we go. That's a bit better. If I need to show anything, if I'm showing anything, cards and things, I can always bring the light a bit closer. But otherwise, it's still a bit, isn't it? So pale, so pale. So let's see who is in the chat. So we've got Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. Just saw your IG post. Happy birthday to you and your channel. Well, it's my channel's birthday. It is my birthday this month, though. I'm a January baby, so my birthday is later in the month. But thank you. Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra. Thank you. Oh, hello. We've got Aquarius Owl. Hello. Robin is here. Total Tarot. Hello. Chris, Elemental Cartomancy. Hello. Jennifer, Rebecca. Happy channel birthday. Hello all. Hope you're having a good day. I know my day just got better because, oh, that's so sweet of you to say. Going to be listening whilst I make breakfast. Breakfast? I'm trying to work out if you're ahead or behind in time-wise. I can't remember where you are, Jennifer. Behind, right? Are you 8 hours behind? So yeah, at Paper Moon, hello. Moana, hello. Good journeys to Rosemary. Deanne, hello. Honey, hello, my love. What a lovely surprise. Rona, oh my goodness. Patrice, hello. Simon, you should be resting. What are you doing in here? Shauna, Sound of an Ocean. Oh, hey, oh my goodness, long time no see, Jonathan Dale. This is just, what a lovely surprise. I wasn't expecting. West Star Tarot, hello. Joey Luna, hello. I saw you in Deanne's chat yesterday. Wow, I wasn't expecting quite so many people just off the bat because, let's be honest, it has been a while. I was a bit like, I'm about to go live, and I use Google Hangouts all the time for playing online tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, Monster of the Week, that kind of thing. So I'm used to like using my microphone and my laptop camera and having that all set up. But it's been a while, and talking to people through a screen, you know. But it's been a while since I've actually been like hosting a live chat. So it's very yeah, very weird. It's been like somewhere between sort of 9 or 10 weeks, but you can really sort of fall off the wagon and it starts to feel a bit like an ever looming you sort of build it up in your head. Oh God, if I don't do it soon, if I don't pull that plaster off, if I don't pull that band-aid off, then it's just going to become too overwhelming. I'm a person that gets overwhelmed incredibly easily. Silky's room, happy birthday. Oh, ignore the question mark. Okay. 8 hours behind, says Jennifer. Pepper Jackie, hello, and thank you. And Kat, hello. Channelversary. Yeah, people are saying happy channel birthday. Thank you. Yes, my channel, this channel is 6. I first uploaded I uploaded my first ever video to this channel on the 7th of January 2016. And it's gone really quickly, but also hasn't. It's really strange. So much has happened since 2016, just generally in the world and in my life. My channel has been a lot quieter the past 2 years because continuing current events have left me feeling not great. And I will be talking about that and my plans going ahead with this channel and how I'm going to navigate my tarot practice and my witchcraft practice and so I'm just looking over at my planner because I've been setting that up this week, and how I'm going to be sort of running my little Etsy shop and just that sort of thing where how I'm going to be sort of moving creatively and stuff. So yeah, everyone's just saying hello to each other, which is great. Now I am a little more organized than I usually am because generally when I go live, it's impromptu, right? Other than when I did the Literary Witches project with Becca. where we had like set designated days of the month, and I would put the reminder up for people so they knew that we would be having a live chat discussion. Most of my other lives are just impromptu. I had a real spate of them during the autumn last year. Those of you that know, especially during October, my favorite month of the year. But I have like a little list of stuff. Wow, it's so blown out. You can't see anything. Well, that means it's all going to be a surprise. But I've got like a little running list of things to talk about, so that I don't go too off track, because I am one for rambling and I am one for going on little side quests. And I'm going to try and avoid that a bit, because otherwise we will be here still at 9 o'clock at night, and no one needs that. And I know that other people are going live later. I know that Rich of Longman Tarot is going live later. I know that Marsha is going live. It will be like 11 p.m. UK time. I'll probably be getting into bed around that time. But I know that other people will be going live, and I don't want to be treading on anyone else's toes. So yeah, let's some more people. I've never think about it, but my channel birthday was yesterday. Oh, Rosemary, how old is your channel, or how young is your channel? We always say how old are you, but we should say how young are we? Not our KB. Oh, Tammy Pie. I'm not your KB. Not. I'm not. How come? Simon, hi to everyone saying hello. Can't type much, what with being in the bath. You're in the bath? Oh my god, how decadent. I love that. I do love a good like bit of YouTube in the bath, or watching some Netflix in the bath. It's fun. So wood in the bath, Simon. Good heavens, says Chris. I think that was a type, or was it a type? Was it a typo, Simon? 3 years. Wow, that's gone fast, Rosemary. Party. Oh no, it's not so much party as just wanting to mark the occasion. Going on side quests. Oh no, there will probably, let's be honest, there will be side quests, but this means I'm hoping I'm going to touch on everything that I want to touch on, because the amount of times I'll do a video and then I'm like, oh, I wanted to talk about that, but then I got distracted by this other thing. So now I'm like, I've got all the things I want to touch on, and if I go on some side quests, it's fine, but I'm going to try and sort of rein it in, because it's already 7 minutes past 6, and I want it to be, I don't want this to go on forever. Famous last words, but you know me. So first of all, on the agenda, I have catch up. So I wanted to ask, first of all, shiny object. See what I mean? I'm doing it already. I'm going to not look at the live chat for a minute and just talk to you. No, because I will be looking at the live chat, because I'm about to ask you all a question. How are you all? How have you been? I know I've been MIA. I've been around a little bit. I haven't been watching very much Tarot Tube. That's picked up this week. Now it's New Year. I haven't really been interacting much. I haven't really been in any lives. I was in Deanne's live yesterday for the most of it, I think. Linda, hello, lovely. But I wanted to say Silky's room hello, by the way. I mentioned your comment, but I don't know if I actually said hello. So hello. So apologies. Yeah, so I've been, hey B, you're right, my love. So yeah, it's I've been MIA. I've been for the most part towards the end of the year, it was just real pushing through, trying to get the Halloween stuff and then the Christmas and winter holiday stuff done for the Etsy shop, running even just a really small business just as one person. It's intense. So yeah, it was a real and I was doing, especially over the winter holidays, I was doing a drop every week, every Sunday for 4 Sundays in a row, which is probably the most I've done for a good long time. So I was really, really feeling that. And I was working right up to the wire on Christmas Eve. I think I finished work about 5 or 6 on Christmas Eve, and then I was working I finished a little early on New Year's Eve. I worked till about 3 or 4. I sort of had come to a natural conclusion. I'd finished what I was doing, and then sort of over the weekend I just felt really, really burnt out. And I wanted to start. We had a bank holiday on Monday, so Monday was a day off for myself and for my husband, and I wanted to hit the ground running on Tuesday with starting research and development for the Etsy shop. So that would be trying out different pouch sizes, different pouch styles, not just tarot related stuff, but like just doing a bit of R&D, just having a little bit of a play, and just also just doing some creative stuff just for myself, just doing a bit of art journaling, just doing a bit of like working in a sketchbook, just so a combination of like just creative play and R&D. And my body just went no. So I sort of tried to get some stuff done on Tuesday and it didn't happen. So the last sort of 3 days I've just sort of hootled about, berated myself for not doing as much as I want, that I would like, and just slowly just been setting up my planner and just formulating plans and ideas for the year, and just sort of sitting about and thinking and watching Netflix. I think my body just needed a rest. So it was foolish of me to think that I could have just a couple of days over Christmas and just get back on it when I'd been working flat out since the beginning of September. And not really giving myself a chance to recover physically or mentally or emotionally. You know, we're still in a really rough time, you know, that wears on us all, right? So yeah, I'm going to have a chill weekend, and then I'm hoping by Monday I'll be feeling more inspired and more energized to do all the things. Not do all the things, but do some of the things. And that's something I'm going to be talking about. So I can see there's some, Rich is here. Hi, Amadea. So let's see what people are saying about how they are doing. Chris being a cheeky monkey as always. Did you get married, Chris? Did it happen? I can't remember if it was when it was happening. Patrice is missing her wife, working out of town. Oh no, that sucks. I'm sorry, Patrice. Oh, you're isolating, Sandra. Oh my god. Oh, you're negative. Oh, okay. Well, that's something, but also not fun having to stay in. I should know. You know, I should know, right? Being clinically vulnerable in a pandemic, not the funnest experience thus far. Mostly doing pretty good. I just a little anxiety preparing for a trip and a live Saturday with Benabel. Oh, okay, cool. You got a live chat. Just going through. Sorry, just seeing what because mostly people are talking to themselves. Got to stay home from work because of snow. Decided to get decorations put away and tweaked your back. Oh my goodness, that is no fun. Yeah, back pain sucks. Currently learning watercolor painting. That's exciting. Did you get some watercolor stuff for Christmas or Yule or just the winter holidays? I don't know. I can't remember if you celebrate. Stephanie says, I'm going to start. I always forget I can do this. Look, I can do this. I was all the time. And then I tried to do some writing to summon. Yeah, we all need a little R&R every now and then. I need some R&R before I can do some R&D. Kat says, just about back to normal over here. Have netted so many soothing stripes. I owe you some replies, I think, too. Oh, that's okay. What, over on the old glide? That's all right. Don't worry about it. You know, I don't ever worry too much about that. You get back when you get back. Meow, meow, meow. Jennifer says, I've been wanting to do things and have lots of ideas in my head, but just don't have the energy to do them. This is my struggle. I either have too many ideas, like the mind is willing, but the flesh is weak because my body is just having a flare up. And it's like, no, you need to lay in bed and sleep all day. And I have to obey because I literally cannot do anything else. Or I have so many ideas that I get like decision paralysis and I can't choose one thing and I end up doing nothing. And sometimes I really do just want to do like one particular thing and I like really want to do it, but somehow I can't do it. I just can't seem to get myself to do it. Oh, Chris might have a wee glass of wine. Kaz, hello. How are you doing? Oh, you need to get back to it. That's okay. Thank you for popping by, though. It was really lovely to see you. You've been missing me. That's very sweet of you, though. Yeah. There's loads of other people to watch that make way better videos than me, honestly. But thank you. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it, Jennifer? Life. Okay, I'm just going to take the lid off of my tea. I've got a nice mug of Moroccan mint tea to keep me nice and warm. Wow, it's 1:15 already. So we burnt out, but I have been resting a little bit, just sort of setting up my planner and stuff like that, setting up my planner and making plans. And yeah, there's been some sad stuff. One of my family dogs passed away a week before Christmas. Yeah, a week before Christmas Eve, so it would have been 3 weeks today. Jethro, and it was just like 9 days before his 14th birthday as well. But it was really, really upsetting. He had been declining, but we all thought he would make it into the new year and have his birthday and everything. And it's never easy when it's around this time of year. And also, because of the pandemic, I haven't really been able to see him for the last 2 years. I did get to see him for an hour's walk at the end of August, when my mum and my sister drove over to my local park. There's it parked up in the car park there, and we went for a sort of socially distanced walk for an hour with all of our dogs. And that was the first time I'd seen him since January 2020. So basically, in the space of almost 2 years, I'd seen him once. So it was really difficult that I'd missed out on all that time with him. So that's been really sad. And yeah, it's just been. I had a nice Christmas and Yule and solstice and all that jazz. I actually enjoyed it more than I did the previous year. I just think, I don't know, I just tried to make the effort to enjoy it, even though I was quite stressed. And sort of partake in all of those rituals that I always do every year. It's like watching Muppets Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve, and things like that. Yeah, Betty White has Sidney Poitier has passed away. Do you know what? He's one of those people that I always forget they're alive. I just always think, oh, they've already departed. But that's really sad. And Betty White, what comic timing, just before, what was it, Time magazine were doing a big cover for her because it was going to be her, and a big story because it was going to be her 100th birthday. And then she sort of it's not funny, but I mean, she passed away. She was very funny. She was an incredibly funny actress, very funny woman. She passed away, and I think they had to pull the cover and redo it at the last minute. It feels very, very apt of her for comedic timing. So let's just have a little wee look again. Try and keep on top of the live chat. I am having a very clumsy accidents lately. I'm all elbows. Oh, Silky's room. My goodness, I relate to that. I am so clumsy. It is embarrassing. I find it really weird that I'm so clumsy, because if I'm painting or drawing or sewing, doing anything creative that involves hand-to-eye coordination, I have really steady hands. Simon will attest to this, because I trim any decks that I trim by hand with my pattern cutting shears. I was a pattern cutter for years. But when it comes to just sort of navigating day-to-day life, I will walk into a door frame in my own house, which I know the layout of, at least once a day, like a minimum. I think I've walked into door frames twice today. I've walked into the kitchen door frame and I've walked into the bathroom door frame today. I have basically mostly been in my flat for 2 years. I don't know what it is, but it's a thing. Very clumsy, very dropsy. My wife says, I worked retail over the holiday season and it was so awful that I quit recently, and it was the best decision I did for myself. Oh my goodness, retail is hardcore. Retail over the holidays is hardcore. I've worked retail over the holidays and it is horrendous. Retail over the holidays during a pandemic, I can't even begin to imagine how awful that would be. Deanne says she's been missing me too. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I've been feeling the void after your many October month lives. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm a very, I do realise I'm a very sort of spend or thrift, as it were, with him when it comes to videos. Anyway, I'm always very sporadic. I'll have like a mad rush of them, and then I won't do any for ages. And I think that's a neurodivergent thing. Gonna be honest. I'm realizing, but I always come back eventually. I mean, there's been times where I think this was only like 8 or 9 weeks. I've had breaks longer than that before, where I think sort of some point in 2016 or 2017, when I was like really in the depths of depression and getting treatment for depression, and I was really struggling. And I think there was a point of like 4 months where I didn't make any videos. I didn't make any videos at the front end of the pandemic, because I was just like, Kermit flail gif. That was me. Losing a pet it's horrible. It's horrible. People that have never had pets or have never lost a pet, I don't think they really realize they are family. They are family. They are little furry people, or scaly people, or little feathery people. And yeah, it's really, really difficult. And yeah, like I said, not seeing him for so long made it really, really tough. And my mum is really, really upset. She's not doing great, honestly. So yeah, let's see. Ready for your rocking Friday nights. A rave up in Simon's place. You've got Haribos. Oh my god, yum. So many celeb deaths. Yeah, do you remember 2016? It all kicked off. I remember Lemmy died on Boxing Day 2015, and then like David Bowie died on, I think it was the 9th or 10th of January 2016, and then it was like the great reaping of like amazing talent. I remember not a couple of weeks after that, Alan Rickman passed away. Like it was just, and then to the end of that year, Carrie Fisher sort of topped off the end of that year. Oh, it was just horrible. It was a lot. Let's see. To Sir with Love. Yeah, an iconic film. Isn't there a song called To Sir with Love as well? Giant strawberries. Oh, I love giant strawberries. Yum, yum, yum. Good choice. Just sing. We're here for you whenever, Kelly. Oh, thank you, Deanne. I did have a hiatus in 2019. Wow. Oh, I think because I was that towards the end of 2019, because I had the breast cancer scare, and that was a lot. I went straight out of a breast cancer scare and getting the all clear, and straight into a pandemic. So it's like out of the frying pan and into the fire. I had like a 4 or 5 weeks of like relief of going, and just sort of getting my headspace back, and then we all got thrown into this nightmare. Oh, Deanne, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the thing. Even with time, you'll never forget them, and they'll always, be a special part of your memories in your heart. So yeah, so that was the little catch up. I've got here Xmas haul ? Because I don't always feel I don't really do hauls anymore, because I don't know. This is the thing. This is how my brain works. I love watching what other people have got, whether it's a deck haul, an art supplies haul, a stationery haul. I don't know, like what they got for Christmas. But I feel like I'm like, if I think, well, maybe I'll do a haul, and they're like, oh god, that's so gauche. Why does my brain do that? I'm like, no, don't do that, Kelly, that's gauche. But I love watching other people. So there you go. David Bowie, my idol. I was literally only watching his Black Star album and the news was announced. I spent the whole of that Monday in bed. I was so like shaken. It was horrible. Makeup hauls. I don't have makeup hauls anymore because I haven't been doing hair and makeup because of the pandemic. That's one of the things actually I was going to be talking about. I think I will be probably hanging up my makeup brushes forever, this year because I was already toying with the idea of switching careers at the age of 40 because I switched careers to do hair and makeup at the age of 30. I switched from working in the fashion industry, doing sort of the design and development and in a studio for a designer for almost a decade. Well, after I'd graduated from uni, because that's what I'd studied. And then I pivoted and I retrained at the age of 30 and did hair and makeup for almost a decade. And then I was like, you know what? Now I've changed careers once. I would be surprised if I switched it up again at 40. Why not? And it sort of kind of happened naturally with the pandemic. I've been switching on the doing the Etsy stuff. Have great rest of the party. I gotta go because James Bond and a cheese plate is waiting for me. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy your evening, honey, and thank you for joining in for a wee bit. It was lovely to see you. Take care. So yeah, we will see, but it's going to be weird. Yeah, being a full-time Etsy shop or art shop owner, it's going to be a lot of work. My God, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm not going to show everything I got for Christmas. I was really spoiled this year. My mum like rocked up. We did socially distanced on the pavement. She drove up, parked outside, and like swapped gifts, and then quick masked hug. It's just, this whole thing is just sucks. Yeah, but I'm not going to show everything, but I thought I would show the things that I think that you would be interested in. I don't think you really want to see the new pajamas and like fluffy socks and things like that, and all the let's be real, all of like the chocolates and sweets and things that I got, they're all gone, long gone. They went into my tummy and I enjoyed them very much. I did share them with Simon, to be fair. Not Simon of the Hermit's Cave, my Simon, I mean. For any of you that are confused. So I just thought I'd just pull some of the bits down here that I got that I thought would be interesting. Oh, I better not do that because my back's not great. So, oh, did Orshi turn up? Drive by Christmas. Yeah, it was. And it was last year as well. And they did the same with my dad and my sister the day after Boxing Day. It's all just very meh. Yes, fluffy socks. I only received one pair of socks this Christmas, which is like the least socks I've ever received for Christmas. Usually I'm like, last year I got like 10 pairs of fluffy socks. I was like, okay, this is a bit from different people because I bloody love socks. Things I usually always get are mugs and socks. And yes, I did get a new mug. It will feature at some point in one of my videos. And I got one pair of fluffy socks, but one pair is better than none pair. So from my spouse, I received, we do like wish lists so that we can pick from it at different price points. So we can pick from it. So we know that we'll be getting things that we like, but we don't know what it's going to be. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we do. So one of the things I got was the light's going to be very good, is the Tarot del Toro, the Guillermo del Toro sketchbook. And it's quite big. I don't know if it's quite A4 size, somewhere between an A4 and an A5. I think this is like American letter size, but it's really lovely. So it's in the front. It's got property of. I can take that off now, actually, and like you can write your name in there. Ooh. So is that trying to work out how to do? Oh my God, I'd forgotten how StreamYard is really confusing for. And then the first few pages are pages from Guillermo del Toro's own books. And some of it's in Spanish and some of it is in English. So it's really cool. Anyone that has watched me for a hot minute will know that I am a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. And my partner got me the Tarot del Toro for our Kissversary in 2020. And then it just turns into a regular sketchbook with lovely sort of creamy paper. I don't think it would handle wet media very well, but I think it's great to use for pen, and markers will probably bleed through. You can probably use pencils, some fine liners or felt pens, like I think the Tri-Plus fine liners would probably be okay. They probably wouldn't melt through, ghost on the other side, bleed through. And for like note taking. So, and then it's got a pocket at the back. So that's really nice. But I'm not using that at the moment because I already have a sketchbook that I've just broken in for By Bun's sketchbook club that she started over on her Patreon. I also got from Simon the Guillermo del Toro Cabinet of Curiosities. It's a tome. I thought the Deviant Moon Tarot book was a chonker, but this is even heavier. It's stunning, and it's got loads of photos of Guillermo's own home in LA or in I don't know if it's in LA. It's somewhere in California, and he sometimes opens it up to the public, I believe. But it's amazing. It's just like full of mad, creepy stuff. And it just talks about his films and his collections and his early days. And again, it has samples from his sketchbooks and notebooks, and just it's all about Guillermo. It's got stuff about like Hellboy 2, which is one of my favorite Guillermo films. And I really love Hellboy the comics, so to see the films, I think he did a really great job. I've not watched the David Harbour Hellboy. I really like David Harbour, but I've heard really mixed things, mostly bad things, about the latest iteration of Hellboy. And I don't know how I feel about it, because I feel like Guillermo del Toro really hit the tone of the comics, and Ron Perlman just really embodied Hellboy just perfectly. So yeah, so that, and then the final thing that I got from my partner was these gorgeous it's the Karataki Gambush, is it Gambushi? I can't remember. The Karataki watercolors, big box of them, because I've been using the same little set of watercolors for bloody ages, and I wasn't picking my watercolors up because I was bored of having such a limited color palette. And so now, I think one of the videos I'll have coming up will be swatching, just a camera down, sort of chill, chatty swatching kind of video. We'll see. That's one of my plans anyway. So yeah, and then a couple of other highlights for me was this beautiful collector's edition of the first Shadow and Bone book from our dear Simon here in the Hermit's Cave. And I said to him, just get me the paperback. Just get me the paperback, it's fine. And he went and got the fancy pants version. It's beautiful. It's all edged in this beautiful sort of mid blue. It's not quite cornflower blue. It's got these gorgeous marbled end pages, and I haven't started it yet. I'm planning to start it this weekend as part of my chill weekend. So I think I'm going to pick up the limited editions of the next two, because there's 3 books in this particular series, and I'm hoping we'll get a season 2 of the show on Netflix this year. So, and then one of the things that my mum got me that really cracked me up was this notebook, because I said I really need notebooks. I don't have any spare notebooks, which is unlike me, because I haven't really been buying stationery since I did my depth year in 2019. I've been mostly buying a notebook for a particular thing and only buying the one notebook. This is the thing though, because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to go into places like Paper Chase or Ryman's or WH Smith. So I'm not doing that thing where I go into a shop and just grab a bunch of notebooks because I'm like, oh, this is pretty. Oh, this is pretty. This is pretty. Because I'm shopping online, I'm just like, well, I'll just get that one. But she got me this like mad pirate themed mixed media lined notebook. So it's obviously just a regular notebook that someone has customized, but it's really fun. They've obviously used like texturizing paste and stencils and molded items and stuck them on, and there's like some ribbons and things, but I love it. I'm not sure how it's going to write, what with it being like bumpy on the front. That might be a bit awkward, but I'll make it work. And actually it's quite similar in size to my current tarot journal. It's an A5. It's very similar to my current tarot journal. Oh, the rings are a bit bigger on my current tarot journal. That's got the big K on it, just in case I didn't know what my name was, to remind me. K, what's the K? Oh, Kelly, obviously. So yeah, so those are like my little highlights for Christmas, like the things that I thought that you'd probably find interesting or possibly find interesting. Do you know what? I'm gonna do that thing where it's really satisfying. You get to like tick off things on a list. So I have done a catch up and I covered that and a little Xmas haul. Wow, we are already 35 minutes in and I've got quite a few things to talk about. I'm gonna have to speed it up, but let's have a wee look in the live chat. And I've got to get better at like what's the word? Like doing this, popping up people's comments. Deanne's really good at it. Oh God, yeah. Chris Cornell really got me, and Chester Bennington, which was not long after Chris Cornell, which was partly to do with Chris Cornell because they were such good friends. Oh, it was awful. Double-edged sword. I'm wondering what that's in reference to, Tammy Pie. Dropping by to wish you a happy anniversary. Can't say so. Hi and bye. Oh, it was a flyby visit from Orshi, but thank you for popping by, Orshi. Lovely to have you in, even briefly. I love watching videos where folks show their goodie holes. Yeah, that's the thing I do as well, but I'm like, if I do it, it's like, it's really tacky and show offy, and I'm like, well, I don't but it's, I don't know, but I've had, you know, other people do it and I don't think it about them. Drive by Christmas, I saw that one. Show us your socks. They're in this box, hang on. Oh, actually, I'm wearing one of the things I got as well, which was these beautiful little sort of mittens made from recycled sweaters. It's, you can't really see, it looks more blue purple in the light, but it's actually more of a warm aubergine purple. And it's trimmed with velvet ribbon and it's got a couple of little buttons. And I made some of these myself from a lovely black wool sweater that I had that had gotten shrunk in the wash by somebody who'd put it in a hot wash. And it wasn't me, put it that way. And I was like, oh no, I couldn't even get the jumper on. It was ridiculous. Like it would have fit on like a teddy bear. But it meant that the sleeves had shrunk down enough that I can make them into arm warmers. So that's what I did. And then I cut off like the whole sleeve, shrunk down, sort of fits to my elbow. That's how much it shrank, and fits quite nice and snug. And so I've worn them in videos in the past. But yeah, someone else got some other ones. Yeah, the socks, I've taken them out of their packaging. They were wrapped up like a little cupcake. They're literally just grey marl with little pom-poms on them. That's the socks. And for some reason, I've got one of Simon's pairs of socks that was gifted. I think it's because I secretly wanted these socks. Not so secretly. Simon always wears plain socks. They never wear patterned socks. So, like, I feel like I should have these. So I think that's why they're in my box of stuff. Shh, don't. Couldn't notice. They've got a memory like a sin. Right, okay. Fluffy socks are the best, Stephanie. I bloody love fluffy socks because I have cold feet all the time, and if my feet are cold, I'm cold. The whole of me is cold. I don't know if anyone else is like that. Totally loving your look today. It's good to see you. Thank you. Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I did get showered and do my makeup and do my hair and get changed just for this video because I can't remember, actually tell a lie, I can remember the last time I got dressed up and made myself feel a bit better. That was Christmas Day. But before that, it had been a really long time. And that's when I know I'm starting to not feel great physically and mentally because I'm not even bothering to put a bit of mascara on or put a bit of brow gel through my brows. And, you know, you do that continuously. It starts to, for me, for someone who usually enjoys doing that, I don't feel like I have to do that. I think if you feel like you have to do that, then it's probably not good. But I do it for myself. I've always been someone who's very express themselves visually, and to not be doing that, yeah, I could tell that my headspace was getting, you know, I just felt like I didn't have time. I was just like slammed doing the Etsy stuff. It was just intense. Note to self, be more prepared for doing collections because a 1 month to prep for a collection is not enough. I need to be sewing Halloween stuff in August, and I need to be sewing Christmas stuff in October, which is going to be like a weird head thing. Like, but we did that working in fashion. We would work seasons ahead, so hopefully it won't be too difficult for me to get my head around because I have done it before. One year I asked for socks And it was the biggest mistake. All I got, and they were all boring white socks. I don't own any white socks. I don't own any. Oh, tell a lie. I do own 2 pieces of white underwear now, but mostly my underwear is either black or like colorful. I do not do white underwear. And I think it's because when I was a teenager, I really wanted to wear black underwear. And also because I was very gothy, I was like, I want my underwear to match my outerwear. And my mum was like, you're not wearing black underwear, because my mum only ever wears white and bright colors. And she doesn't like the color black. She thinks it's depressing, which is hilarious considering who she's ended up with as a daughter. And she was like, you're not wearing, you know, when you're like your early teens, your tweens and your early teens. And she's like, no, you're just, and so she would always buy those multi-packs from M&S, those bloody white bras and white pants. And I hated them. And they always ultimately, eventually, as they age, they go kind of grey and you're like, whoa. So as soon as I started to get my own money and I was old enough, I bought my own bloody underwear, and it was black and it was silky and it was lacy and it was cool and sexy, and I felt great. So yeah, I don't own whites. I don't think I own any white socks. I haven't worn a white sock in about 20 something years. I hope you're feeling better every day that passes. Let's pop that up there for Simon. Kat saying that's such a cool book, and I'm now wondering which one it was you were thinking of. It's like, bye, Slinky. Oh, well, Silky's room's gone now, but lovely to have had you in. Sending healing. Oh, Jennifer, you're so sweet. I'm going to do lots more arting this year. Yeah, Tammy Pie. One of my goals is to do lots more arting this year, and that's why I've joined in on By Bun. Roxanne Coble is the artist's name. She goes by Bun, and I upped my Patreon pledge so that I could join in her sketchbook club that she's doing over on there, just because I received a sketchbook as part of my Kissversary present from Simon in November. And I spent this part of what I did this week was break this in for Sketchbook Club. I had got it for Sketchbook Club. So I've got a mantra at the front, which is just give it a try. It doesn't matter if it's good or not, because I find if I don't draw continuously, it's like use it or lose it, right? I start to doubt my skills, and I never get to the point where I get really good because I'm not doing it enough. And then I'm like, well, if it's not perfect first time round, then what's the point? But I've been working on and off in a sketchbook for ages, and I've never finished it because the paper is terrible. It doesn't handle mixed media, wet media, inks, watercolor, markers, paint pens. It doesn't handle any of them well at all. And I really like to use mixed media and wet media and load my pages up. So I got this one. This is the one that Roxanne recommends, and it's the Strathmore mixed media, and I've just got the A5 one so that it's not too overwhelming. So what I did was I put just give it a try. And then, you know, I do this in my journals as well, just my general journals, my writing journals. I've got like, I started just putting paint and markers and things on random pages just so it doesn't feel too precious, you know. And use those lovely new paints that I've got. I like this one because it looks like blood spatter. So yeah, and this one's particularly fun. So yeah, and then I've got a running list of things to draw so that I don't ever run out of things to draw. So yeah, that is part of what I'll be planning to do this year for my personal goals. So yeah, I wanted to talk about, actually, this is a good thing, because at the front I've also got I have 2 words for the year. So for the last 2 years, for 2020 and 2021, my word was release, because I didn't do very well with that in 2020 because I couldn't get rid of stuff. And I thought, well, maybe I'll be able to offload a bunch of stuff during 2021. And I've also not been able to because the panini is still happening. So it's very frustrating. I'm like, well, I'm not going into a 3rd year with the same bloody word because it's just going to get very stagnant. So I decided on gentleness and consistency. And the reason I've picked those two words is because I feel very, very fragile physically and mentally. I've got a bunch of health stuff going on still, and the current Omicron wave means that I've had appointments cancelled or pushed back even further for things that are causing me daily pain. And, you know, it's frustrating and upsetting and not a little scary. And then just the weight of everything that's been going on. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on top of the pandemic, and it's just been a lot. And that's another reason I haven't been so like on social media just generally, because I just don't feel, I'll be on Twitter and I'll be retweeting stuff, but I don't interact a huge amount, just because I just feel too fragile and soft and squishy. And honestly, I'm not used to feeling like that. I'm very much I might feel a bit crap for a while, but I always like pull myself up by my bootstraps, and I haven't been able to do that. And I think I just need to allow myself to sit in the soft, squidgy space and hold space for myself until I feel better. So that's where the gentleness comes from. And also because I pushed myself and burnt myself out several times last year with my Etsy shop. And I think the problem is that I just go too gung-ho. It's all go all the time, and then burn out and then nothing. And I think it's better to be more gentle and have a more steady pace and more consistent, which is where the consistency comes in. And also to be consistently gentle with myself and to extend that to those around me, because being, it's very hard to exist in this world, especially at the moment. And it is more difficult for some compared to others, depending on the situation. And so it's just sort of understanding that everyone is, I say everyone, there are some people that are clearly not, that are thriving and living their best life and profiting off of people's misery, but I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking everyday sort of general lay people are sort of, for the most part, people are struggling, people are feeling the pinch, people are feeling unwell, people are, it's really, really going, and it's just trying to be sort of hold that gentleness. And it's a weird headspace, because for me, I've always been very and into sort of, I count myself as an activist and a sort of a doer and a getting involved and getting my hands dirty. And having been a clinically vulnerable person in the middle of the pandemic means that I haven't been able to be as much of a doer. And it made me think about, like, I'm involved in a lot of chronic ill, like I follow a lot of people on chronically ill and disabled Twitter. So a lot of chronically ill and disabled people, where I get to feel a bit of solidarity for people that are also sort of in a similar position with not being able to get out in the world, or they do have to go out into the world, but the world is not sort of making any provisions to protect them or anyone really. And it's weird being in that situation where I've become someone that can't do a bunch of stuff, and I, people talk about slacktivism and go, oh well, if you're just signing petitions, or if you're just sharing information, or sharing articles, or if you're just writing to, and I'm like, well, that is actually a really ableist thing, because there are people who are actually unable to do more because they physically or mentally cannot. And I think if we need to sort of reframe how, every little helps, essentially, right? So if all someone can do is sign a petition, that's better than nothing, right? If all someone can do is donate, they might have some spare cash and they want to donate it, that's something, right? I think some of us are too hard on ourselves and too hard on other people, and we need to sort of reframe that. And I don't mean like just give anyone a pass, but you know what I mean, like just people are trying. I think some people are not trying, but I think there are people who are trying. So yes, for me, my words of the year are gentleness and consistency, and that is for everything. That is for running my business, that is for having this channel, that is for the way that I think about myself and treat myself, just generally day to day, with regards to maybe negative self-talk, or you know, just how I just berate myself because I have anxiety, or you know what I mean. Or maybe you don't know what, maybe I'm not making sense. It's for how my tarot practice, my spiritual practice, it's for my art practice, it's for my relationships, everything, gentleness and consistency. Yeah, I want to know, what are your words of the year, if you have one? And if you don't have one, are you now thinking maybe that you do want one? And what do you think that would be, out of interest? So let's just say Satya loves the, hello Satya, the watercolors, they're great, aren't they? Wow, I'm really behind on the chat, I'm very sorry. That is so neat and so special that it's from your mum and that she picked it out special. What, the notebook? Yeah, bless her. I don't know, I already forgot what I was talking about. It was right around the changing career point. Oh, Tammy, okay. I have to get going, getting to play school teacher today, and it's time for school to begin. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see you say goodbye, but if you do see any of this back, thank you for joining in, Jonathan. Simon's like, I love how she just goes with it and shows us, because I know what you lot are like. You'll just be like, just show us. Tyken, hello. Sorry I haven't seen you sooner. How does a sock with a pom-pom work in your shoe? It's actually, they're bed socks, Robin, so they're not meant to be what they're actually not. And actually they come part way up your ankle, so if you've got trousers on and you've got your shoes on, if you've got low-rise shoes, they're not going to get in the way. But yeah, they're bed socks. Bye, Stephanie. I'm saying bye, and it was like 10 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago, Stephanie said goodbye. I'm sorry I didn't see you say bye, but bye. Thank you for joining. For me, fluffy socks, that indoor thing. Yeah, see, Sandra's she's on it. Aquarius out. All my socks are Harry Potter or Doctor Who. Very good choices. Love me. I'm not really a Potter person, but I love me some Doctor Who. Who's your favourite Doctor, Aquarius Al? I love socks with pictures and patterns. That's about 99% of what I wear, says Jennifer. Did the new season of What We Do in the Shadows ever end up airing there? Yes. Season 3, yes and yes. Me and Simon binge watched it in the space of like a week. And season 3 of Ghosts as well. I decided just to scribble at least once a day, more when I have time, and once a quarter. That's a great idea, Tammy Pie. I get so freaked out when I start a journal. Quite often I go back, rip out and start over. I used to do that a lot when I was a teenager and in my 20s. I try not to do that now. And I think doing the thing where I fill some pages and put some washi tape and some paint and some splatters and stick some bits in before I even actually work in it really has helped me get out of either it's too precious to write in, or that it's too overwhelming because it's just this one big blank tome. And generally with sketchbooks, and not like my tarot journal or my magical journal or anything like that, or like a regular notebook that I'm making notes in, I will work in chronologically through it. But if it's a sketchbook or like my Omni journal that I have, where it's just all mishmash of stuff, I just work in it out of order and I just date it. So then it doesn't matter if it's some stuff's at the front that I did earlier this year and some of it's also at the back, and then some of it's in the middle. Just, it is what it is. Yeah, I've torn out pages of old journals. Most of my old journals I think I got rid of. And to be honest, most of my like teen journals were just like, when you read them back, it's just so cringy. Like a lot of the things that I worried about, some of the things that I worried about were serious, like bullying and things like that. But some of the stuff that you worry about as a teen, you get to an adult and you're like, oh, sweet summer child. If only that was all you had to worry about. Rosemary says, I know that feeling. I can't get past having the same word this year as last, but that is where everything is pointing me. Fair enough. I was having done the same, try to be both it now. Is this still talking about writing in journals? Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, that was exactly what came to mind to me, Tammy, with coming up with these words. Like I have to realize that I am going to be 41 in a little over 2 weeks, and I live with multiple health issues, chronic health issues, and yeah, it's not going to get any, like, I'm not going to suddenly become more energized or more you know, I need to make allowances. And the world is really sort of still in this like semi-halted stage. So it's really difficult to sort of move forward. So it's just sort of about holding this, sort of gently holding this space and existing in it as best we can, making the most of it. Jennifer, we've missed you, Kelly, but understand when you need to take a break. We are always here for you. So sorry you're feeling this way. It's okay. It happens, right? Those words are such good ones to take into this year. Oh, thank you, Kat. Sends massive hugs. My word for the year is gentle. Oh, so snap. Gentle, gentle. What is going on with this cape? What's going on? Do you know what? It's confusing me because everything's flipped around in the camera. Hey, Tarot Diva, Ellie. Lovely to see you. Difficult time for sure. I'm grateful to work from home, but the social family aspect has been a struggle. We're taking next to no risks, and that, yep. It really swings between some family and family friends really taking this very seriously, and that's a lot of that is to do with their jobs. Like I have family members who work in the medical field, and so they see firsthand what a shit show is going on, and some of them I'm really worried about because the NHS is absolutely on its knees and they are all burnt out and traumatized, and it's really, really worrying. And then I have other family members and family friends who are being incredibly cavalier about the entire thing, which is really, really galling because, you know, I'm clinically vulnerable. My partner's clinically vulnerable. One of my sisters is clinically extremely vulnerable and a double transplant recipient. So to have family members who don't take this seriously is galling and just really frustrating, especially 2 years in. And I get when they go, oh, well, I'm fed up with it. I just want to get on with our lives. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. That's great. But like some of us have like literally been stuck in our flats for the best part of 2 years. So maybe just like think about people other than yourselves. We all need to be compassionate. I'm trying. It's difficult, right? And do you know what? I watched at the weekend, I watched beautiful, what was it called? The semi biopic with Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Is that what it's called? It's on Netflix at the moment, and it was really, really sweet. It was a really lovely film. I was crying within 5 minutes of it. Like I was like, he seemed like such a lovely, lovely man. But there's a scene where the journalist that interviewed him for Esquire magazine, which is the sort of premise for the film, he thinks Mr. Rogers, it's a bit. He thinks it's a persona. And as he gets to know him, he realizes it's really, really not. And he speaks to Mr. Rogers' wife. I can't remember, was it Joanna? I think that was her name. And he says, what's it like being married to a saint? And she says something really, really interesting, and it really stuck with me this past week. She says, don't call him that. He's not a saint, because if you put that label on him, then people will think that the way that he is unattainable, and it is attainable, and he works at it every day. And he says, well, how does he do that? Like, what does he do? And she says, you know, he prays for people by name every day. He swims laps. That helps get his frustration and anger out, and he burns up any energy, excess energy, with swimming laps. He writes letters. He writes hundreds and hundreds of letters. He works every day to be compassionate. He reads scripture. You know, he has a practice. He has a daily practice and a weekly practice to help him stay in that space. It takes work. And I also saw a really lovely quote on Twitter today, which was, love will always take work, but it will always involve work, but it shouldn't involve suffering, which I thought was really interesting. And it just, it's just all this stuff coming together about holding space and being gentle and being consistent with it, right? And work. I feel like sometimes work is not the right word to use. We need to work at it, but we're sort of work. It's not a great word, right? So I just realized I should probably turn that back around. Maybe we should say cultivate gentleness, and cultivate consistency, and cultivate compassion, and cultivate a practice, you know? Maybe, I don't know. I'm probably just chatting nonsense. It's okay, Sacha. You know what? And it's weird. Like I talk about it, and I know I don't want people to think that I'm feeling sorry for myself because I'm not, and I don't want people to feel that I'm searching for sympathy, because I'm not. I talk about my mental health issues and my physical health issues, although I do always argue about physical and mental health actually being the same thing, because your brain is inside your head and is a part of your body and is part of your physicality. But I talk about it so that other people that might be struggling with it don't feel so alone, and that's why I talk about it. Aquarius Al says that their word for the year is learn. Tammy Pies is crowning. Well, that's a very crowning as in like sovereign crowning, or crowning as in like birthing crowning. It's very dual meaning there, Tammy Pie. I want a word, but there's too much choices. Fair enough. You're making total sense. Totally relate to much of this. Oh, hello, Pamela's Insight. Hello. I've been pondering my word of the year for a while now. It hasn't quite landed with me yet, and that is stressing me. Do you know what, Pamela? Don't let it stress you out, because the year is young. And, you know, the Gregorian calendar is just one calendar. We just happen to use it, right? There are other cultures that use different calendars, and we've used different calendars in the past. We never always used, like in the UK and England, we never always used the Gregorian calendar. We switched over. So, you know, don't let it stress you out, because I hadn't done a year ahead spread for several years, and I'd sort of signed them off. And I think I talked about it in a video a few years ago. I'm like, I'm not doing year ahead spreads readings for myself anymore. And then I got the feeling that I wanted to do one sort of in between Christmas and New Year, or Taintmas, as my partner calls it. And but I couldn't decide on which spread to do. But also I was feeling really, really stressed and anxious. And like, I'm not going to lie, New Year's Eve, I was feeling really, really hopeless and sad. It didn't help that I had PMS. Like, I get really bad mood swings and really bad sort of depressive episodes during the lead up to my period. So that I know that was playing into it. But I couldn't do my reading with that in that headspace. It just wouldn't have been the right time. So I was like, do you know what? And I was like, maybe I'll do it in the new year. But the first like few days of the new year, like I said, I was like burnt out and, you know, just feeling low and in a lot of pain. And I had really terrible period cramps and like all the other stuff I've got going on. And I was like, do you know what? Do it on the birthday. My birthday's on the 24th. So I'm like, that's still January. I'm going to do it then. You know what? And if you follow, you know, the wheel of the year, Pamela, maybe you pick a different day. So maybe do it on Imbolc, Candlemas is it the 1st or 2nd of February this year? Well, let me check my little planner, because I've got it written down. I made new dividers for my planner. I've had the same dividers for 5 or 6 years. I've had this for like 5 years. And I was just fed up of looking at them. And I hadn't used this planner for the last 2 years, because where am I going? But I'm like, I'm going to use it to help me sort of keep track of stuff a bit more this year, be a bit more organized, and start to make plans and be organized again. And it might help with there we go. But Imbolc, which I call New Light, is on the 1st this year, in the UK at least, because obviously it depends if you follow it sort of astrologically. But yeah, you could pick Imbolc, or you could pick one of the equinoxes. You could pick the equinox in March, which will be on 21st, which I call, because I've created my own wheel of the year, Thor Frost, because it's in March, and that's when it's the end of March is when it starts to generally get a little bit warmer, and the clocks change again. They go forward and we get a bit more light. So yeah, you could just pick another sort of astronomically pertinent day, or a birthday, or some other kind of date. It doesn't have to be New Year. So there are no rules. The rules are there are no rules. do you. Yeah, don't let it make you feel bad. I suppose you're rising. Are you changing my word of the year? I'm still pondering. My words are inspiration and magic. Ooh, those are fizzy kind of words, Patrice. I like those. Oh yeah, Deanne, I saw you talking about structure yesterday, and I was like, I was going to type in, well, my words are this, and I was like, no, save it for the live chat. Structure, drew a card to decide. I also drew obstacle and attachment. Yeah, I saw you showing the cards. That was really cool. And I didn't and while I didn't want to ignore those, I wanted something brighter to be my guide, encouragement word. Yeah, I saw that sort of sitting in between those two other cards. Shauna, gratitude, that's a great one. Simon's is listen. Rain is like David Tennant, best Doctor Who. What about the Eccleston Doctor Who's before they rebooted it? Do you have like a favourite of the old ones? Because growing up, I ended up watching, I saw mostly Pertwee, Davison and McCoy. Those were like the three that I remember the most as a kid. I think maybe Baker was my favourite of those. I just really like the long stripy scarf. I don't know, and they always had jelly babies. Number 10, yeah, I think there's a lot of love for Tennant. I mean, and he's just so, I don't know. He like Matt Smith had elements of 10, but not quite. But I feel like 10 also had elements of 9. I feel like there was a real, I don't know, and he could be really scary at times. It was great. Let's see. You're not feeling well, Shauna. Oh my goodness. Sending you healing love, healing vibes, healing thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna have to miss some of the live chat because I wanted to be wrapped up by 7:30 because I know that Rich is going live over on his channel, and I didn't want to step on his toes. So I might have to do a different live chat to cover everything because there was stuff that I wanted to talk about. I put down here weighted blanket ? I was like, I've been sleeping with a weighted blanket for the last week, and I just wanted to say, for those of you that might have been interested in whether it works or not, I've definitely been sleeping better. I just thought I'd mention it for those that might be interested. Decks I plan to use and study. That is pertinent. Let's get into that. So I think I spoke about it last year, and I can't remember if it was probably in a live, let's be honest, not in a pre-recorded, but I had over on my bookshelf, which is over that way, I have my study decks. I don't know why I'm doing that. Study decks. They are my study decks. So 2 of them are staying the same and 2 of them are changing. So for Thoth, I will be using my deluxe Thoth. Never know how to pronounce it. Still don't know how to pronounce it. I tend to say Thoth. Anyway, I'm just melding my brain. So I will continue to use this one for that. For my Lenormand, I will continue to use my Piatnik Lenormand for now. It doesn't have the alternate or extra gendered cards, which I do find frustrating, but for learning purposes it's less of an issue than if I was reading for someone. I have seen a couple of, because I really like the fact that it's old-fashioned artwork, so I have now found like a couple of decks that have like this old-fashioned kind of artwork but does have the extra cards. So I'm hoping to pick one of those up at some point in the year. So I've switched out my Marseille and my Smithwaite decks that I had that we'll be using for study. So I usually use my Centennial Smithwaite for study. So I am switching that out for my Moon Baby, because you know the Smithwaite artwork is basically, you know, it's imprinted on my brain. I know I can pull up an image or like a photographic quality image in my mind's eye, like just in an instant. So I just thought it'd be nice to switch it up. And the colors in Brant's deck they're just so scrumptious. I just can't, like, I just want to lick the deck. I won't lick the deck, but I just want to lick the deck. It makes my mouth water. I just love it. Even the back. Oh god. So that's going to be my study deck. You know, I can always pull out the Smithway if I'm want to look at something very specific with regards to the imagery, but generally I'm going to be using this. And then I'm switching it because I was originally using a CBD Marseille, then I switched to my Tarot Classic by AGM, which is a lovely 50-year-old copy of it that I have. And now I'm going to be switching out to sort of something a bit more a bit different, Marseille, but different, and that is the Triomphe de la Luna Paradoxical Rose by our here Jamie, who very kindly did a trade for a couple of pouches for this one. So yeah, I, you know, again, the Marseille, especially my Tarot Classic, is pretty much imprinted on my brain at this point. So I think I want to, like, it's so yummy. I just really like the extra touches that Patrick Valenza puts into his deck, and he pulls in elements from like loads of other historical decks. So I just thought, you know what, I was going to use the Jean de Blay because it's a bit more classic, but I was like, you know what, if I want to pull out one of that, if I want to pull out my Tarot Classic, or if I want to pull out my Jean de Blay or my CBD Marseille, I can. But I think it'll be fun, even if it's just for the first little bit, that I just try something different, just change it up, you know. Deanne says the Paradoxical Rose matches your hair accessories. They do. Oh, yeah. Love, you know me, I love me a hair accessory. Do you know what? I'm getting a bit hot now, she says, talking herself up after an hour of gassing with a hot water bottle on my poor crampy tummy because Aunt Flo is a bitch. So yeah. I had it in my head today that it was Monday. Lol, what a lovely gift. It's Friday. Hello, Kristen Louise. Lovely to see you. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's better. Getting a dab on. Yeah, do you know what? I thought earlier today, I was like, is it Thursday? I was like, oh, no, shit, it's Friday. I need to remember that because I'm going live on Friday. Remco, hello. Lovely to see you. What a surprise. Hope you are well. Rona says, it was an expensive mistake for me. I do use the blanket it came in, though. That's heavy enough for me. What's this? Oh, did you get like a blanket that was too heavy for you? I've gone for a light one because yeah, so I've got a 4.7 kilo, and they say anywhere between 7% and 12% of your body weight. Some say 10%. So I'm like 60 kilos ish, 61 kilos. So, you know, 6 kilos would be 10%, but the place that I got it from, it was really highly recommended. So 4.7 is a decent amount, but I've really, obviously it's not going to work for everyone, but I found it really, really good because I sleep on my back like a vampire. I either sleep with them like this, my hands like this, or across my tummy, or just down at my side like this. And I often put, like, I've got a heavy bamboo pillow. I often like put it on my chest when I sleep so that I feel the weight of it. And I didn't realize that I just have been doing it like what's the word, intuitively for years, and didn't realize that it might be a thing to do with anxiety and enjoying the compression. And when I started to read about weighted blankets, I was like, oh, maybe I should try one. And I didn't know where to get one, or what was the best weight, or what was the best brand. And then I saw a plate. I sort of did a bit of research over the Christmas break because I got some Christmas money, and there was one that kept popping up, and it was UK based, and it wasn't too heavy. And I was like, let's give it a go. And it was on sale. It was like £25 off or £20 off. So I ordered it, and I'm really glad I did because I got a deal, and it's really beautiful. It's like a silvery grey velvet, and it's all quilted, and it is really soft. It feels it's like stroking a little seal or something, or a little otter. It's very nice. Moon Baby was one of my November decks, says DM. I always throw the blankets off. Oh, fair enough. Hang on, what's Rona was saying about the blankets? I wanted to try one, but my dogs like to get under the blankets. Yeah, you see, what I've done is, this is the normal quilt. My partner, you're supposed to use one. Well, the one that I bought says use one blanket per person because you need to feel the full weight of it. So what we do is my partner sleeps underneath the far side, And then that little green blanket is Nomi's. We never let Nomi get inside onto our actual like underneath our duvet. We never let her in the actual bed. That was one of our rules. We never used to let her in the bed the first year that we had her. It was just because she had some health issues and I was bedridden for a short while and I needed to be able to keep an eye on her. So I ended up putting her on the bed to keep an eye on her, and because I was unable to check on her because I was stuck in bed. So that's how that habit started. But we were like, well, at least we won't let her in the bed. So she has that little green blanket, and what I do is I just fold this back like this, and I sleep with my blanket. And then if I get a bit chilly, because it is just like 2 layers of velour, I just then pull this over the top of that, so then if it's really cold, because I am in an old Victorian building, this building is like 130 years old or something, that just keeps me warm enough. I got away from myself. I was too claustrophobic with it. Oops. Yeah, if you tend to be quite claustrophobic. Like I've had 2 MRIs last year, and I had to take sedatives to help me not like freak out being inside the like MRI tunnel. So yeah, but I don't find it claustrophobic. I think if you're someone who enjoys compression, that you'll probably enjoy the blanket. And I also think it depends on the weight that you get. Yeah, cats. Actually, I had an ex who had a cat that would sleep on my chest, but it freaked me out. I really didn't like it. I'd like wake up going, oh, like get off me. And also I could hear it going like purring in my face. Cats can be really freaky, can't they? I don't think I would like a weighted blanket. That's fair enough. But I found it really my little dog sleeps under a blanket. I worry he keeps breathing. Right. Oh my God. Right. My dog, Nomi, she will like smoosh herself. She likes to be completely covered in blanket. And sometimes she'll like lay on the sofa with a blanket over and her nose wedged into the corner of the sofa with the blanket. And she's laying there going, and I'm like, move. But she seems to not care that she's like suffocating herself. Like dogs are so weird. I'm studying Deviant Moon, got the book for Christmas. Awesome sauce, Kristen. That is cool. £20 weighted blanket. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't use a £20 weighted blanket. Not by going the research that I've used, that I've seen. I think a weighted blanket would hurt my ankles. That's fair enough, Kristen. I'm missing. I'm going to have to like... how synchronistic. I did that too for years and got a weighted blanket last year. How are you finding it, Remco? Are you finding that it helps? Robin says, I feel like compression works. I like a bank of pillows in the small of my back. Me too. I will often like wedge like the excess blanket or quilt in the small of my back if I turn onto my side. And I also have to have a pillow between my knees because I have hip and thigh problems at the moment. I'm getting help for, so I can't I need to have that extra support, and I get a lot of lower back issues, so that just gives a bit more support for my pelvic cradle. 2 little dogs take up the whole side of a king size bed. I can do you know what, even Nomi, she takes up so much room in a double bed. I'm like, what are you doing? And other times I see her turn like like cinnamon swirl her up into such a small ball. I'm like, you can squish yourself so tiny, and yet you get on the bed and you like take up, like she's just like languishing all like this. I'm like, excuse me, some of us need to be able to like sleep in here as well. Thank you very much, cheeky monkey. Anyway, so I've put DEXA plan to use and study for study, and then for the year, do you know what, I think what I'll do is I will talk about this little bit about the decks, and then I will do a quick shop update thing, and then the other things that I wanted to talk about I will save for another live chat, because I'm very aware that it's nearly 7:20. But it's been so nice, like just chatting and like catching up for the first time in a while. So this is my tarot, like my current that I'm using tarot thing. I've also got like a buttload of tarot decks to the side on my, I've got like 2 desks, and on my second desk there's like this half of the front half of it is all just decks that I use for photographing and using for my pouch photos and promo stuff as well. So less decks are put away these days. But yeah, so with regards to talking about gentleness and consistency, my tea is going to be cold. At least it's mint, which is fine if it's cold. It's sort of like kind of cold, but not. Thank you, Al. Channel Versa. Oh, yes. Lagging. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? I found that I fall asleep much more quickly, Remco, and I've also found that because I tend to be awake for huge amounts of time in the night because I get up and pee like 3 or 4 times in the night because I have a hamster bladder. And then I'll be laying awake for ages and I'll never sleep much. But I found that I'm falling asleep much quickly after getting up in the night, except for last night. I was awake for about an hour and a half, but it was because I was having so many different pains. And one of the pains up here, I had to lay a certain way, but it aggravated the pains in the lower half of my body. So I couldn't get comfortable either way. And it was very... Jen, hey, you all right, my dear? Lovely to see you. So yeah, so keeping in mind that my words are gentleness, or one of my words is gentleness, I wanted to pick decks that feel comfy and cozy and safe. Can you believe it? Is this the same like Kelly Bear? That's like, give me all the weird, creepy shit. I still like weird, creepy shit, don't worry, but I just feel like I need to be in this little gentle, snuggly space, at least at the moment. So the decks that I've picked for like gentle snuggliness, Jen, you'll like this. For Oracle deck, the Empty Cup Oracle, which has become a tried and true for me. And it's just very, I don't know, it literally has open space in it. Like it feels very, it just has items, it's just black and grey on a white background for the most part. This is one of the few that isn't. It's very, very simple and pared back, and it feels like it has a lot of space, and it feels very comforting. There's something very snuggly about this deck. So that's one of the decks that I've picked out. I think that's the only Oracle deck that I've picked out. And then for tarot, for like comforting decks, I've pulled out one of the decks that I got last year, which is Tarot of a Moon Garden, because it's just very, very sweet and colourful and gentle and fun. And it's kind of pippish because, I do like my pip decks. I then picked out my tried and true, my Bay, my Ride or Die, which is, of course, my Tarot of the Magical Forest, which is just a hug in a deck. I mean, they will tell it to you straight, but they're so cute. Like, I can never be mad at them. And it's just so familiar to me. Like, again, this is another deck that I could literally pull up in my mind, every single card, like in perfect, like reproduce it perfectly in my mind's eye. And then another deck that is very comforting to me is the Osho Zen, because it was my first ever tarot deck, and I find that I've trimmed it, the size and the smoothness of it after I've trimmed it feels very soft, and then the color palette is really satisfying to me as well, so I find it very comforting. So God, the camera is, that's a very sweet card. It's just a really, there are obviously some more freaky cards in this deck, but for the most part it's quite, and yes, I'm aware of the whole Osho thing these days, but I have an undeniable connection to this deck, and I've had this deck for about, when did I get it? 97, I think. So I've had, was it 90? I think it was 97. So I've literally had this deck for a quarter of a century. You can't deny that kind of connection, can you? Like, if you've had something that long, it just feels like it's a kind of a home deck. And then I've got an animal deck, because the Magical Forest is an animal deck, but it's obviously it's a Smithwaite animal deck. I've got more of a loosey-goosey animal deck, and that is the deck I've not used for a good while, actually, and it's the Animal Wisdom Tarot. I have a little bit of a with this deck because it was renamed, but this is by Dawn Brunker, by the way, with illustrated by Ola Leola, what a name. But they've renamed it the Spirit Animal Oracle, or the Spirit Animal Tarot, and I'm like Animal Wisdom sounds less appropriative than Spirit Animal. I'm like, Folks, come on, read the room, learn, grow, do better. But yeah, the color palette in this deck, the cardstock's quite glossy, so it's hard to, but it's just very, very soft and snuggly, and it makes me think of ice cream. Again, I'm really into decks that, oh, wrong way around. Even the shark card is kind of sweet. Look at his little face. Hello. So yeah, and they've renamed the suits. So you've got like fossils are for pentacles. You've got, hang on, let me find, the branches are for wands. Scorpion. We have shells for cups, and then you have the feathers. Where are they? Let's find the feathers. Find a feathers. Why can't I find? There we go. Feathers for the swords. And look, that's a 3 of swords without a pierced heart or a dead bird, which is cool. They've all got little hearts on their chest, which is very sweet. So those are like my gentle snuggly. So I've got 3 like snuggly, 3 or 4 snuggly tarot decks. Things to do this year as well, thinking of things that I really need to bloody do. I need to make some pouches for some of my own decks. I need to make a pouch for this because I can't be dealing with it in this bloody thing. What a honking great chunky box. Why is my first ever tarot deck in this hideous polyester thing? Why? What am I doing? No, need to make a pouch for it. I'm obviously going to make a pouch for this baby because after wanting it for so long, it is like, I can't wait to make a pouch for that. And then what was the other one? Oh, it was this. So then I've got 3 decks I've pulled out that I want to dive into a bit more deeply. These are the first 3 that I've picked out. So one of them is, I think, my favorite deck, like mass market deck, like my favorite indie decks of last year that I got that were new, with the Moon Baby and the Trionfi della Luna. My favorite mass market decks that I got, and I didn't get that many decks last year, I think it was actually just, this is my favorite one, and it's the True Heart Intuitive, which I'd wanted since it came out. I've been following the creation of it. I follow Rachel True on Twitter. I love Rachel True. She's awesome. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to buy it for myself, because I was trying not to buy mass market decks. I was just trying not to buy things in general. But do you know what? I was like, I really, really want this deck. I really want to support Rachel, and Rachel, like, she's my mate. And the guidebook is just like, it's just so good. The guidebook is so good. So yeah, this is a deck that I want to dive into because it's Smith Waite, but it does a bunch of its own stuff as well, which I really, really love. And I've really loved the guidebook. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I think I'm going to do a dedicated journal for that one. I want to pick back up with my Antique Anatomy Tarot, which I do have a dedicated journal for, and there are videos about that on my channel from near the beginning of last year, should you want to see. So I want to get back on this wagon. And I think we've all seen the Antique Anatomy at this point, right? This is the mass market version. So that's another one I want to get back into. And the final one that I've picked out is the Chamonix, which was actually given to me by Simon when he was having a bit of a declutter when I went up for Tarot Meetup August 2019. So yeah, and this is a really gorgeous, watery, and again feels very gentle because of the sort of watery, and the artwork is stunning. The people have in this deck have a sort of fae-like quality or alien-esque sort of quality to them. But can you see I'm obviously being drawn? This one's a little freaky. Some of them are a little sort of alien or sort of fae-like, but I enjoy that. I don't know if I'm really showing it very well. But this is one I want to sort of, and the guidebook, it's quite small, but it does pack quite a punch. Like there's some good stuff in here about the artist's decisions in the artwork, which I really like. I hate that when you get a deck that deviates from like classic tarot imagery, and there is like nothing about the information. And you often find that when you have an artist and a writer and it's mass produced and there's no communication. Like I feel like the modern spellcasters tarot did that. They massively dropped the ball and getting the artist to sort of maybe at least write something about their choices, because there's some really interesting choices in that deck. And the author of the book doesn't go into any of it, and it just really ground my gears. Sandra ended up having it, didn't you, Sandra, at the Whispering Well? So those are my 3 decks, and it's 1 minute to 1:30, and I don't want to step on poor Rich's toes, because I was going to do a tarot pull, because I had a really fun idea for a thing that I could do, and I was going to call it Profound and Profane, which is where I get a deck that is sensible and like not silly or weird, like this, which was one of my purchases of 2021, which I'm loving, by the way. And this would be like the Profound, and then the Profane would be a deck that is kind of irreverent or cheeky or fun or weird. And I was going to do a pull from the arcane bullshit, because can you get any more profane than this deck? Like, this is profanity embodied in a deck, right? So, but I might have to Aquarius, I was like, do it. Shall I do it? I don't want to, because it's like 1:30. Okay, we'll do the card pull, and then I'll have to do shop update and other bits at a different point. I'll have to just do it another live. Okay, so let's just do a quick, we'll just do 1 card from each. Oh my god, I love this deck so much, and I love the like weird chunky size of the you gotta do the weird chunky size of the tin. I can still riffle shuffle it as well, so there are 35 peeps in here. Good point. I know, but I know that some people might want to like jump on over to Richie's, and I don't want, you know, tarot etiquette, tarot tube etiquette, and I don't want to. I deliberately want it to be done by now. But have I met me? I should have known. I was too ambitious with all the things I wanted to talk about. Oh, you fitted it in your purple Kelly bag, but the Chamonix is really small, Patrice. And so it'll be wiggling around, because my pouches are meant to fit really tight and snug. Oh, do you mean, what did you get, Patrice? Did you get one of the mini pouches that I usually do for the Wandering Oracle decks? I can't remember which one you mean. So yeah. Okay, so let's just do a quick. Quick one for our Profound. Hi, Aspasia. Okay, just a quick little Profound, and I'm just going to split the deck and pull the first card off the top. Ooh, okay. I'm going to show that I'm going to pull them together, as in show them together at the same time. Now this one is a right chunky sod. I can never shuffle this whole thing. So what I tend to do is I break it up into piles. Obviously you can't see what I'm doing, and I put those piles back together. I've shuffled this so many different ways over the years that I've had it now. But most recently, this is the way I've been doing it. I just sort of keep breaking it into piles and putting them back together, just sort of in different orders. Sorry, I know it's really boring for you. That's just sort of just to get it mixed up from the last time I used it. And then what I do is I take that, I divide it into then 3, which is what I do as part of my general shuffling process. But instead of then putting it all back together, I pick one of them. I'm going to pick the one to the left of me, and then I riffle shuffle this, and this becomes the deck that the pile that I'm pulling from. And it's the best way, because sometimes I would go through and just pull out the cards face up, like a chunk of them, and make a mini deck out of a bunch of cards. But then I felt like maybe, yeah, if I'm pulling them that way, I'm not always getting to see all of the cards, and there are over 100 cards. I think there's like 101, or I can't remember if it's 101 or 105 cards in this deck. Okay. Although frustratingly, it's not numbered. The cards are not numbered, and then also not listed in alphabetical order, which I feel like Evan Doherty had done on purpose, just because. I'll give it one last riffle. Okay. So we've got profound and profane. For the profound, we have the Four of Pentacles, and this is the pocket version of the Wild Unknown Tarot. So obviously we tend to think of the four when we look at the Smith-Waite version, we think of that sort of miserliness, because you've got that character that is sort of they're holding on to the pentacle, they've got their feet on two of them, they're like, this is mine. But there's also this idea of conservation. It doesn't have to be greed or miserliness. Actually, in the Osho Zen, the card for the Four of Pentacles, or the Four of Rainbows, is the miser. That's the key word, is the miser. I trimmed the keywords off, but a lot of them are still wedged in my brain because I've had the deck for 25 years. You know, with this one, we have, and then when you think of a Marseille, we have the four coins generally in this like stable, it looks like a structure, and the same as when you're looking at the Thoth, it has this like structure, this rigidity, but rigidity can also be stability. You know, it depends on whether you're looking at in light or shadow. And then the take on this that we have from Kim Kranz is you have these four pentacles, or these like stones with pentacles carved in on them, and they are connected by all these different ribbons or bands or string, whatever they are. And you've got here in the middle, you've got this like lemniscate connecting these two, and then these two are connected, and then they're all connected together in various different ways. So there's like this interconnectivity, there's this stability, and it's almost like to build stability, there needs to be a level of communication, a level of cooperation. You know, if you're building something material, if you're working in the realm of the pentacles, the physical realm, the outwards, this, you know, and we're looking at stability, that comes with cooperation. No man is an island, is that the saying, right? So in the Smith-Waite, we have that man being a bit of an island, right? Here I get more of a there's a community, okay, and building something. So profound, we need, in order to build something, we need to work together. You need to collaborate. You need to be in communication with each other. And I think it's just hilarious because for the profane, the card that came up, not safe for work. I don't know if people are at work, because I know in the stateside it's still going to be working hours. It's the orgy. Which is a which is something that people partake in for pleasure, which again is the realm of the pentacles. It's the realm of the physical world, of the body, of the earthly plane, right? The world of earthly delights. But also, oh my God, I can literally see people just getting manhandled and lent on and grabbing lots of butts. But also, in order to partake in an orgy or any kind of like kink play or anything like that, or any sexual activity really, you need constant and continuous consent and communication and cooperation. There needs to be this working together, okay? So these two work really well together. They're both very earthy, they're both very grounded, they're both very this seems to be about like, yeah, communication and collaboration and community. Like they're really getting on. So that is my profound and profane reading for the end of this video, this live chat. Take from that what you will. Interconnectiveness, exactly, Remco. Ritualistic swearing, says Tammy Pie. Kim Moon loves the arcane bullshit. I don't think it gets enough love. I think a lot of people do see it as like a silly deck, and it is a silly deck, but it's also not a silly deck. Case in point, I think that was actually, it ties in really, really well. So that's my reading for today. I still have a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about and updates about the shop and all sorts of other things, but I think I'm going to have to leave that for another live chat. I don't know when that will be. In the spirit of my words for the year, which are gentleness, I need to not be too hard on myself. I need to allow the space to just make videos when I want to. And I have always made videos when I want to, because I don't think it's fun to make videos when I don't want to for the sake of making them, for the sake of like keeping my channel alive or relevant, like whatever. I'm not, who cares? I don't. I know some people do. That's fine. As in, like, some people, they do this for their job or whatever, and that's a whole other kettle of fish, right? But for me, this is for funsies. So I try not to make stuff unless I want to, but at the same time, I don't want to push it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to allow myself the space to make the next live, do the next live when I'm feeling up for it. Hopefully that won't be too long. I'm feeling I've really enjoyed this. I hope you have as well. But also in the spirit of the other word, consistency, I hope that if I am taking it gently and taking things slowly and little bit by little bit, that it won't be too long before the next one. So I think Rich will be in full swing now over on Longman Tarot. I'm going to go have some food because I haven't eaten since lunchtime, and I'm going to chew my arms off. So I won't be able to be in Rich's live. I'm going to be cooking. And I think my partner is still working. They're working quite late. They're working from home. So they haven't eaten either. So yeah, you all take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this first video for New Year on my channel, and for helping me celebrate my channel birthday, my 6th channel birthday. And I hope to be out and about in there. Carolina, thank you. Sorry I didn't see you in here earlier. And Heather, and Alicia as well. Lovely to see you. And I will speak to you all soon, I hope, and you all take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and much love. Ciao.